Hey, bud, what do you think, man? Let me know some things about what can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
You ready, bud?
But everybody want to see. Yeah. I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it.
Terence Crawford shocked fans by responding to Jaron Ennis's challenge for a super middleweight title clash, agreeing to put all his belts on the line. The response came as a huge surprise, since Crawford had never previously entertained the idea of facing Ennis.
Like I said before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that. That's the next move for me in my career.
In an interview ahead of his upcoming fight, he revealed that he was ready to move up to the super middleweight division if it meant securing a title shot against Crawford, even setting his sights on 2026. Such a move would mirror Crawford's own path, leaving the welterweight division, taking on a single bout at 154, and then making the jump straight into the super middleweight ranks.
Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, he's the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
Just hours later, Terence Crawford celebrated with a victory parade in his hometown of Omaha. When asked about Jaron Ennis's remarks, Crawford made his stance clear: he was willing to take the fight. He even sent a direct message to Ennis: if the bout is at 168, then send the contract, because he's ready to do it there without hesitation. Ennis's promoter, Eddie Hearn, later confirmed the talks, calling it the best fight that could be made in boxing.
Without him, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
And I need, so after I do my thing, Saturday night, be victorious, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out, only main event headlines and pay-per-view headlines, pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Matchroom Boxing chief Eddie Hearn revealed that talks are underway for Terence Crawford to face former unified welterweight champion Jaron "Boots" Ennis, who is set to make his 154-pound debut on October 11th against Wismael Lima. Speaking to reporters on Wednesday, Hearn called Crawford versus Ennis the best fight in American boxing, but admitted it would take the right payday to secure Crawford's interest, given his awareness of Ennis's talent. "I'm not saying Crawford believes he'd lose to Boots," Hearn explained, "but he knows it's a real fight. To me, Boots is the new Crawford. We just need to get him the big fights to prove how great he is."
Fight that makes a whole lot of sense, and the fight that stylistically will be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron "Boots" Ennis. I don't think I think he's going backwards. But to that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass. And all these, so this fight is perfect timing for both these guys.
At Crawford's post-fight press conference, the idea of facing Jaron Ennis was raised as a potential match. The 5-division champion quickly dismissed it, saying he wouldn't return to the junior middleweight division. For the fight to happen, Ennis would need to agree on a different. The issue is that Crawford only wants the kind of fights that bring in big money, and there are only a few that can deliver that, explained Eddie Hearn. "You're dealing with a different kind of fighter in Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. To compete with him, you need experience and world-class schooling. That's why I believe the Boots fight makes so much sense."
It's been a roller coaster, but we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, and it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the faith.
Ennis, once the IBF's mandatory challenger at 147 pounds for Crawford, moved up to 154 last year, where he defeated Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA title. That victory saw him elevated from interim to full champion by the sanctioning body, and he later unified further by stopping Imantas Stanionis in April to capture both the WBA and ring titles. While preparing for his upcoming bout with Lima, Ennis also played a key role in Alvarez's camp, serving as a high-level sparring partner ahead of Alvarez's showdown with Crawford.
Yeah. But don't lie or kept to the next. Man, it made it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said, they called, and we said, never heard nothing else back about it. So,
Right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, but don't be capping on the net.
Despite the intense training, Alvarez admitted after his defeat that his body had let him down, while praising Crawford's outstanding performance. "I'm gutted for Canelo," said Eddie Hearn, "but I'm pleased Crawford is finally getting the chance to show just how great he is, because his resume hasn't always reflected that. Don't get me wrong, he's had quality wins, but he could have faced many more of the elite fighters from his era. To deliver a performance like that at 38 is truly impressive."
The Crawford Canelo fight. Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, you know. Anything happens.
No doubt. My other question for you is, you know, with this win, everybody saying Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion.
People are quick to talk about retirement, and while going out on top would be a great ending, I believe Crawford still has more to achieve. He could even move down to 160 and capture another world title, becoming a 6th division champion. Canelo Alvarez came in desperate for victory, but Crawford refused to play along. In front of more than 70,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, and over 41 million viewers on Netflix, Crawford secured a hard-fought yet decisive win over Alvarez.
Brooks Park, Southfield. Yeah. All right, so you know they'll kill me if I don't action, right?
But
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was like probably like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like, what is
So I trained.
Among the millions watching was Jaron Ennis, the 28-year-old Philadelphia native who has repeatedly called out Crawford and often drawn comparisons to the future Hall of Famer. Just weeks before Alvarez wrapped up his camp, he brought in the switch-hitting Ennis for sparring, which later drew criticism when Ennis publicly sided with Canelo over Crawford. Despite pushback from many in the boxing community, Ennis didn't hold back in his response.
We got a couple more days and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight. It is. If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
Reflecting on his second training camp away from Philadelphia, this time with Canelo Alvarez, Ennis described the experience as both valuable and enjoyable. "I was just having fun in there with Canelo. He's got 67 fights under his belt, so it was cool to share the ring with him," he said. "I loved being out there, sparring, fishing, spending time with my brother, and just experiencing something different as I move up in weight." When asked if he enjoyed his time in camp, he added, "Why not? To be able to share the ring with Canelo, a Hall of Famer, a legend, and really the face of boxing, was incredible. The sparring was great. I had a great time. I loved being in there with a guy of that caliber."
Yeah, why not? You know, why not? Why not you be able to share the ring with, you know, with Canelo? And like I said, you know, being there with a Hall of Famer, a legend, and face, kind of like the face of boxing. You know, why not? You know,